Today's our target is, so how to calculate degree of dissociation for a particular chemical equilibrium. Degree of dissociation is represented with alpha and equilibrium molecular mixture and vapor density problems. So it is the most important topic in particular chemical bonding concept. So listen carefully, my dear boys. Here are the topics: degree of dissociation. Based on that, molar mass of the mixture and vapor density of the mixture, I am trying to calculate. Before going to that, what is degree of dissociation? That is the number of moles of a particular reactant dissociated at a particular time. So it is the ratio of total number of moles dissociated by total number of moles actually taken. So that is called as degree of dissociation. Into 100 means percentage degree of dissociation. So how many moles of the reactant actually taken, that is originally taken. So at the time of equilibrium, something is going to be dissociated into products. How many moles are dissociated? So see here, my dear boys. So let us take a reactant A, it is N times. So 1 mole of this chemical is taken. So it is going to be dissociated into N particles. So this is the equilibrium reaction. This is the equilibrium reaction. I am trying to explain how much is the degree of dissociation. So initially at the beginning, at T is equal to 0, A moles of A is taken. So at the beginning products are 0. At the beginning products are 0. So after some time there is equilibrium is reached. At that time X moles are dissociated. From this X moles are dissociated. So see here. So it is N, that is, if it is 1 mole, it is N moles. From here X moles dissociated, it is NX is formed. Now I am trying to calculate how much is the X value. X is nothing but, see boys. So for how many moles are actually taken? Initially A moles are taken. How much moles are dissociated? X moles are dissociated. Therefore, degree of dissociation alpha is equal to number of moles dissociated by total number of moles taken. Total number of moles taken. Therefore, that implies X is equal to A alpha. X is equal to A alpha. Substitute that value here. X is equal to A alpha. So for 1 mole it is X, for A moles AX. So for 1 mole it is alpha, for A moles A alpha. Therefore, so A minus A alpha, finally it is A into 1 minus alpha. So it is AX, put X value as A minus A into X. Therefore, NaX is the final answer. Okay, these are the number of moles of reactant and number of moles of the productant. Number of moles of the production. Now, how much is the total number of moles? Actually, how much is taken? A moles are taken. Initial number of moles is A. So, what is the total number of moles? So, total number of moles in the mixture. So, in the mixture is equal to this one and this one both are exist. Therefore, this moles plus this moles. Therefore, A into A minus AX plus NaX, the total number of moles. Finally, we will get A into 1 plus alpha into N minus 1. So, this is the value. So, final mixture of number of moles. Mixture, final number of moles. So, the total number of moles after dissociation. So, which is equal to this much. Okay. Now, I am trying to calculate what is the partial pressure of this reactant. So, first question. What is the partial pressure of this reactant? So, we know partial pressure is equal to, so mole fraction into total pressure. Mole fraction into total pressure. Mole fraction means number of moles of that component by total number of moles into total pressure. Total number of moles into total pressure. So that is why. So partial pressure of A is equal to number of moles of A. See here. How many number of moles of A is there? So Na. So total number of moles of is Na. So total number of moles. So number of moles by total number of moles into P total, which is nothing but partial pressure of A. So therefore, partial pressure of A is equal to N alpha by 1 plus alpha into N minus 1 after cancelling this A and A value. So this is the partial pressure calculation. Sometimes during problems, the formula we may use in it. The formula you may use in it. Therefore, partial pressure of this A is equal to So n alpha by 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. What is this n? That n is nothing but, so number of moles of production. So n moles of products are there. So n, for example, N2O5 dissociate into 2NO2. N2O4 dissociates into 2NO2. Therefore, n is equal to 2 in this case. N is equal to 2 in this case. So PCl5 dissociates into PCl3 plus Cl2. It is 1, it is 1. Therefore, n is equal to 2 in this case. Only we consider gaseous number of moles of product. Only we consider gaseous moles. Okay. So this is the partial pressure. So it is the first target for me. So partial pressure of this A is equal to n alpha by 1 plus alpha into n minus 1 into P total pressure. Next, I'm trying to calculate molar mass of the mixture. So there is an equilibrium mixture. So what is the molar mass of that mixture? That mixture contains both this one and this one, both are existent. Now I'm trying to calculate molar mass of the mixture. So we know number of moles is equal to weight by gram molecular weight, boys. Now I'm trying to calculate gram molecular weight. Gram molecular weight is equal to, so weight by number of moles and weight by number of moles. So that is why I'm using any number of molecular mass of mixture is equal to molecular mass of the mixture is equal to mass of the mixture initially taken by total moles of the mixture. Mass of the mole initially taken. So how many moles are initially taken? A moles are taken. Number of moles is equal to weight by molecular weight. Now weight is equal to number of moles into molecular weight. Number of moles into molecular weight. Molecular weight of this AN is MAN. So number of moles, how many moles are initially taken? AN. So AMAN is the initial mass of the AN. Initially this one existent. So after dissociation, so these two are exist. Therefore, total number of moles of final production. So total number of moles. Therefore, so after applying this one, so molecular mass of the mixture is equal to, so molar mass of AN initial molar mass by 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. It is very, very, very important. It is the formula used to calculate molar mass of the mixture. So molar mass of the mixture, molecular mass of the mixture is equal to initial molecular mass of the reactant by, so 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. So by using these two, I am going to calculate density. Density, that is in particular vapor density of the gas. So that is the formula actually we require. So this is the molar mass of the mixture. See here. Up to now, what we have to calculate? That is, molecular mass of mixture is equal to initial molecular mass of reactant by 1 plus alpha into n minus 1. So please try to mind this. Now our target is density calculation. What is density? We know for an ideal gas, PV is equal to nRT. N means weight by molecular weight, number of moles, weight by molecular weight. So I am trying. So PM is equal to readjusting the weight by volume into R into T. Mass per volume is nothing but density. Mass per volume is nothing but density. That is equal to PM is equal to dRT. That implies density is equal to PM by RTN. It is a very, very important formula, my dear boys. Density of the gas is equal to PM by RT. PM by RT. But I am trying to calculate density of mixture. Density of mixture is equal to, so pressure of the mixture, total pressure of the gas mixture into molar mass of the mixture. Molar mass of the mixture in by RT and molar mass of the mixture by RT. So it is the formula used to calculate density N. Okay, now let us consider small d. Small d is the vapor pressure, vapor density of the mixture. Vapor density of the mixture. Small d is the vapor density of the mixture. So that is equal to vapor density. We know formula. Vapor density is equal to molecular weight by 2. It is the formula. So therefore, density of the mixture, small d is equal to density of the mixture, which is equal to molecular weight. So molecular weight of the mixture by 2. Molecular weight of the mixture by 2. So it is density of the vapor density of the mixture. Vapor density of the mixture. Now capital D is equal to initial vapor density. Vapor density of the gas. Initial vapor density of the gas. So initially we have only N times. So molecular mass of AN by 200. Molecular mass of AN. Only AN exists. So after equilibrium establishing AN and AR exists. So but initial, and this is the condition. Capital D is the initial vapor density of the gas. Initially we have only AN. Small d is the vapor density of the mixture. So mixture contains both AN and AN. So this is the mixture molecular weight. Already we calculated. So D is equal to initial vapor density of the mixture. Now I am trying to calculate capital D by small d. I am trying to calculate capital D by small d. So capital D is equal to how much? Molecular mass of AN by 2 by molecular mass of mixture by 2. It is cancelled. These two are cancelled. Okay, that is equal to molecular mass of AN by molecular mass of mixture is equal to this much. Molecular mass of mixture, that is molecular mass of AN by 1 plus alpha into N minus 1. These two are cancelled. Therefore, D by D is equal to 1 plus alpha into N minus 1. This is very, very, very important, my dear boys. Capital D means initial vapor density of the gas. Small d means vapor density of the mixture of the gas at equilibrium. Mixture of the gas at equilibrium. Equilibrium mixture of the gas. So capital D by small d is equal to 1 plus alpha into N minus 1. And 1 plus alpha into N minus 1. Now here alpha is the degree of dissociation. Here alpha is the degree of dissociation. Now I am trying to calculate that alpha value. From this, capital D by small d minus 1 is equal to alpha into N minus 1. Okay, so therefore capital D minus small d by small d into N minus 1 is equal to alpha. It is the formula used to calculate degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by small d into N minus 1. Small d into N minus 1. Very, very, very important, my dear boys. Very, very important. Number of times asked, a number of bits are there based on this. We will do some problems based on this concept. And so, this capital D is initial vapor density of the gas. So, initial vapor density of the gas. So, small d is the vapor density of the gaseous mixture at equilibrium. Okay. So, N is the number of moles of gaseous products. Number of moles of gaseous production. So this is alpha is the degree of dissociation. Alpha is the degree of dissociation. Okay. So it is very, very important. Now there are two more formulas based on this topic. What are those formulas? See here. That is vapor density is equal to, that is molecular weight of the gas by 200. It is the formula. Therefore, vapor density directly proportional to molecular mass of the gas. Vapor density directly proportional to molecular mass of the gas. Therefore, we are using the formula. So, in case of density, we are using molecular weight. Therefore, alpha is equal to initial molecular weight of the gas. Initial density is replaced with initial molecular weight of the gas minus molecular weight of the gas at equilibrium. Molecular weight of the gas at equilibrium is the density of the gaseous mixture at equilibrium. That is why molecular weight of the gas at equilibrium by molecular weight of molar mass of the mixture at equilibrium into 1 minus n into n minus 1, or alpha is equal to initial vapor density of the gas minus vapor density of the gaseous mixture at equilibrium by vapor density of the gaseous mixture at equilibrium into n minus 1. Whatever it may be, these are the some formula used for calculation of degree of dissociation. Degree of dissociation. I think today some problems are already in your exam, today's morning exam, based on this topic. Okay, please resolve those problems. If you have any doubt, please ask at the time of our study hour. Okay, so see my dear boys, among all these, please try to mind this. Alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by small d into n minus 1. What is this capital D? Initial vapor density of the gas minus the vapor density of the gaseous mixture at equilibrium by vapor density of the gas at equilibrium minus n minus 1 and it. So this is the formula used to calculate. So that is the degree of dissociation. Already we completed degree of dissociation, molecular mass of the mixture, and vapor density of the gaseous mixture like this. So these are the very, very important formulas. So these are the, at least try to mind this formula is sufficient. No need of derivation. No need of derivation. That is alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by small d into n minus 1. This is sufficient, my dear boys. This is sufficient. At least try to mind this formula. At least try to mind this formula. It is very, very important. See here. The vapor density of N2O4 gas at certain temperature is 30. Calculate the percentage dissociation of N2O4 at this temperature. Calculate the percentage dissociation of N2O4 at this temperature. So initially we have N2O4. So at this temperature it is going to be dissociated and converts into 2NO2. N2O4 dissociates into 2NO2. So this is gas. This is also gas. Okay. So so he want to find out percentage dissociation. So that is nothing but percentage alpha he want to calculate it. So percentage alpha is nothing but alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by small d into n minus 1. So if you want percentage into 100. So it is a formula to calculate this problem. So okay. So what is capital D? Capital D is nothing but initial vapor density of reactant. Initial vapor density of the reactant. What is the reactant? This one. So we know molecular weight of N2O4. So because itself it is taken. Molecular weight of N2O4. So how much it is? 2 into nitrogen. That is 14. As 4 into oxygen 16. Now we have the weight. It is 92. 92 is the molecular weight. Therefore, capital D is equal to molecular weight by 2. That is 92 by 2, which is equal to 46. So initially only this one is considered. initial. Next, small d is equal to, that is the vapor density of gaseous mixture at equilibrium. At equilibrium, these two are existing. At equilibrium. So at that position, this is the given to you. So vapor density of the gas N2O4 at certain temperature is this much, not initially. So therefore, its vapor density is 30, which is equal to 30. So this is capital D, this is small d. Apply this formula. Apply this formula. Therefore, so percentage alpha is equal to capital D 46 minus 30 by 30 into n value. How many moles? It is 2 only. N is equal to 2 here. So 2 minus 1. So finally we will get how much is the value? So tell me guys, how much is the answer? Yes, thank you, 53.33. Correct. So this is the percentage of dissociation. This is the percentage of dissociation. It is the way to do the problems. So number of times ask this model problems, my dear boys. So initially there is only reactant molecular weight, deactant molecular weight by 2 is equal to vapor density. So the given condition is equilibrium mixture. So equilibrium vapor density or equilibrium molecular weights are given to you. So those are used for calculating this is capital D and small d. By using those capital D and small d and by using n, it is possible to calculate alpha value. It is possible to calculate alpha value. Next, one more problem, and see here. The equation alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by d into n minus 1 is currently matched for which are the following. So these values are as usual normal, and it is degree of dissociation, it is vapor density initial, and D is the vapor density of the mixture, N is the number of moles in the dissociation site. As usual mixtures and as usual words. So which one is correct? A reversible with NB by 2 plus NC by 2. B is equal to A reversible with NB by 3 plus 2N by 3 CN. C is equal to A reversible with N by 2 B plus N by 4 CN. N by 4 C. D is equal to A reversible with N by 2 B plus Cn. Among all these, which one is correctly matched for this formula? So in this formula, total number of particles of the product, N is nothing but total number of gaseous moles of products. It is applicable for products. So therefore, in which case total number of moles for the gaseous products is equal to N, then only the equation is applicable. Only we consider all these are gases, my dear boys. All the given conditions are gases. So see here, it is N by 3. It is N by 3. Give me the answer. So see here, these are the four products. It is N by 2. It is N by 3. N by 2 plus N by 3 is not equal to N. That's why it is not applicable. Yes, correct, Rohan. You are also. Next, it is N by 3. It is 2N by 3. N by 3. 2N by 3. So for B, N by 3 plus 2N by 3, which is equal to N. So therefore, this is applicable. This is applicable. So n by 2 it is not applicable. This one also not applicable. Our answer is Bn. Total number of moles should be equal to n. That is the formula. That is the formula. So that is applicable only for that one. Applicable only for that one. Next one. In the dissociation of PCl5, which is a gas, varies with alpha, alpha nothing but degree of dissociation, varies with capital D by small d according to options are 1. This is the graph. It is alpha axis. It is a capital D by small d axis. Here is the graph like this. Second one, same alpha capital D by small d. It is like this. Next, third one, same parameters. That is like this. Fourth one, that is, so it is alpha, it is capital D by small d. It is like this. Alpha, capital D by small d. Now, which one is correct? So here is the condition, alpha versus capital D by small d. Alpha versus capital D by small d, our formula. It is applicable for PCl5 gas. So PCl5 gas means it is dissociates into PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas. PCl3 gas plus Cl2 gas. It is 1 mole. Therefore, N is equal to 2, my dear boys. N is equal to 2. Okay. So now, Sidhu, you are wrong. See here. Next, N is equal to 2 for this case. We have the formula alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by small d into N minus 1. So small d by, so put N is equal to 2 here. So that implies capital D minus small d by small d. So put N is equal to 2 here. Okay, that implies which is equal to capital D by small d minus 1 is equal to alpha. Therefore, alpha is equal to capital D minus small d minus 1. Okay, so on y-axis alpha, y is equal to, on x-axis that is mx plus c formula. So on y-axis alpha, on x-axis capital D by small d. So m is equal to slope. Here slope is equal to 1, my dear boys. So m is equal to 1 by comparing those two. That is equal to slope. That slope is equal to positive NE. That slope is equal to positive. So C is equal to intercept. That intercept value is negative. Intercept value is negative. That means here intercept is positive. So here slope positive NE. Positive NE. But intercept value is positive NE. Intercept also positive. Okay, that is it is x-intercept. It is nothing but x-intercept. Therefore, our answer is this one, x-intercept. So slope is equal to positive. So and also having x-intercepts. So therefore, our answer is the 2. So here C is the y-intercept. It is a positive y-intercept. It is negative x-intercept. Therefore, answer is x-intercept value with positive slope. So this one. Here slope is negative. Here slope is negative. That's why this is not correct. Slope is 0 only. So but it has something slope. Here slope is equal to 0, but it has something slope, that's why it is also not correct. Therefore, our answer is second option. Our answer is the second option. Boys, try yourself. Try yourself. The vapor density of equilibrium mixture of the reaction SO2Cl2 gas reversible with SO2 gas plus Cl2 gas, this is the equilibrium reaction, is 50. The percentage dissociation of nothing but percentage degree of dissociation of SO2Cl2 is dash. Tell me, the percentage dissociation of SO2Cl2 is dash. Just like previous problem. Just like previous problem. So vapor density of equilibrium mixture is 50. Is this 50? Yes, 50 there. That means small d is equal to 50 there. Small d is equal to 50 there. Here it is 1 mole, it is 1 mole RAM. So that is n is equal to 2 RAM. N is equal to 2 RAM. Now find capital D. Is Rajesh, is this possible? That is 170 for a percentage? No, any degree of, my dear boys, alpha value never exceeds 1 and always less than or equal to 1 and. Never exceeds 1 in alpha value. Please be mind. Please be mind. Degree of dissociation, that means it never exceeds greater than 100. Capital D is initially what we have to take, this is initially taken. We know the gram molecular weight of this one, how much is sulfur 32, oxygen 16 plus 16 32, chlorine 35.5, 30.5, 71. That is the 5. 135 is the molecular mass and initial end. Therefore, capital D is equal to m by 2, 135 by 2. That is 67.5. This is capital D, my dear boys. This is capital D. So only initially taken. Initially this one only exists. That is why capital D is applicable for that current. Yes, correct. Alpha is applied. Why it is easy to calculate it. Therefore, alpha percentage is equal to capital D 67.5 minus small d 50 by small d into 2 minus 1 into 100. So finally we have the answer 35. So this is the percentage degree of dissociation. Yes. So it is the percentage degree of dissociation. Next one. Yes, good, my dear boys. Try next one. Try next one. Density of equilibrium mixture. Density of equilibrium mixture of N2O4 and NO2 at 1 atmosphere and at 1 atmosphere and 384 Kelvin is 1.84 gram per cc. Sorry, decimeter cube. gram per decimeter cube. Full stop. Calculate the equilibrium constant of the reaction N2O4 is irreversible with 2NO2. Both these are gases. This is the question, boys. So for this equilibrium, these are the conditions for this equilibrium. So you want to find out equilibrium mixture at that temperature and pressure. At that temperature and pressure, you want to find out equilibrium mixture. So let us consider for this equilibrium at time is equal to 0. It is 1 mole we should take. No one is given to you. That is, it is 0. At T is equal to T equilibrium, 1 minus alpha, it is 2 alpha. Alpha is nothing but dissociation. For 1 mole, it is alpha. So if it is 1 mole, it is 2 moles formed. That is alpha dissociated, it is 2 alpha is formed. If you know alpha value, it is possible to calculate total number of moles. See here. So it is T equilibrium, these are the number of moles. Total number of moles. Total number of moles at equilibrium is equal to 1 minus alpha plus 2 alpha. At equilibrium, this one and this one both are exist. Therefore, total number of moles is this much, which is equal to 1 plus alpha. Therefore, partial pressure of N2O4 is equal to its number of moles by total number of moles into total pressure P. So total pressure is at 1 atmosphere, my dear boys. So finally we will consider it. Next, partial pressure of NO2, which is equal to its number of moles by total number of moles into P. P is the total pressure. Now, Kp for this reaction is partial pressure of NO2 whole square by partial pressure of N2O4, which is equal to partial pressure of NO2 is this much. That is 2 alpha by 1 plus alpha into P whole square by partial pressure of N2O4 this much. 1 minus alpha by 1 plus alpha into P. Okay, if you want to find out this Kp value, there must be alpha value required. There is a requirement of alpha. Yes, Biswas, please wait. I will clarify. Biswas, please wait. Okay, so if you want to find out this Kp value, so there is a need of alpha value. Alpha is nothing but a degree of dissociation. That degree of dissociation is calculated with the help of this data. That degree of dissociation is calculated with the help of that data. So that means, so how to find out the degree of dissociation? That is D value. So SR, that is density of the gaseous mixture is given to you. How to find out the density? Density is equal to Pm by RT. Density is equal to Pm by RT. Okay, that is equal to pressure. How much is the pressure is given to you? So you want to find out the molecular mass of the gas. So that is molecular mass is equal to dRT by P. dRT by at equilibrium molecular mass. So that is equal to D. Density of equilibrium mixture is 1.84. 1.84 into. So R gas constant 0.0821. 0.0821 at a temperature of 384 Kelvin into 384 by pressure 1 atmosphere pressure. That is 1. That is 1. So that is equal to equilibrium molecular mass is equal to this value H 58. Therefore, equilibrium density D is equal to 58 by 2. 58 by 2. So which is equal to 29. So this is a small d value. So capital D means initially we take only this one ra. Therefore, capital D is equal to molecular weight by 2 ra. Molecular weight of N2O4 ra. N2O4 28 plus 64 N by 2. That is, it is 14 plus 32 ra, which is equal to how much? 46 ra. This is capital D. Now alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by d into 1 minus, sorry, n minus 1 and d. Therefore, capital D 46, small d 29 by 29 into 2 minus 1 ra. This is n value and 2 minus 1 ra. So finally we will get alpha value is equal to 0.586 ra. Alpha value is equal to 0.586. Substitute that alpha value here. Substitute that alpha value here. So P is equal to 1. Alpha is equal to this much. Alpha is equal to this much. Substitute these values. You will get the Kp value. So solve yourself, my dear boys. I am waiting for you. Solve yourself. I am waiting for you. That is the alpha value. This is right here. Capital P is the one value. Substitute those values. Please tell me the answer. That Kp value. So calculations are very, very important. Such type of problems will appear in your tomorrow's exam. Very, very important. So try to solve this model. So finally, my answer is 2.09 atmosphere. After substituting all those two values, P is equal to 1, alpha is equal to this much. Alpha is equal to that much. That is the value to find out the condition. Solve yourself, boys. Do yourself. I am waiting for you, no doubt. I will give some time. Please solve yourself. My answer is 2.09. Bashwan, check once again your calculation. Yes, yes. Harshit, did you solve the problem or directly use the answer? Harshit. Yes, 2.9, not 9, my dear boy, it is 0.9 from my side. Yes, okay, thank you. 9.6, okay. Okay, accepted. Siddharth, accepted. Okay. So this is the way to do problems based on alpha value, and alpha is equal to capital D minus small d by small d into n minus 1 and small d into n minus 1. Okay, boys. Now our topic is thermodynamics in equilibrium constant. Thermodynamics, or the applications of thermodynamics towards this equilibrium. See here, our topic is thermodynamics of equilibrium. Thermodynamics of equilibrium and the temperature dependence of equilibrium constant. Temperature dependence of equilibrium constant. So how our thermodynamics is useful to find out the equilibrium situations? See here, boys, here we are using delta zero. That is a change in Gibbs energy. Change in Gibbs energy. And delta Z naught, standard change in Gibbs energy. Standard change in Gibbs energy. So delta G and delta Z naught. So it is at other than standard conditions, but this value at standard conditions and at standard condition, nothing but temperature T is equal to 298 Kelvin. 298 Kelvin. So pressure P is equal to 1 bar pressure. But these are at other than cases. At other than case. So at for an equilibrium, delta Z is equal to 0. But delta Z not equal to 0. And please be mind, my dear boys. Delta Z is equal to 0, but delta G naught, because standard values are fixed and there is a delta G naught is not changing. But delta G at a given temperature conditions, at a given temperature conditions, so number of total energy released by the reactants is completely consumed by total energy absorbed by the product side. Because so reversible reactants are converted into products. Delta G means product value minus reactants value. So here, during this reactants converts into products, something energy is released. That energy is completely utilized by products to convert into reactants. Therefore, net change in energy is equal to 0. But it is not possible at standard conditions. That is why at equilibrium, delta Z is equal to 0, but not delta Z naught. But not delta Z naught. Okay. So now how to calculate delta Z naught? Delta Z naught of the reaction is equal to delta Z naught of products minus delta Z naught of reactants. Delta Z naught of products minus delta Z naught of reactants. Those values are given to you. Products value. It is for reaction. It is for reaction. So delta Z naught of the reaction is equal to delta Z naught of products minus delta Z naught of reactants. So those values are given to you. Those values are given to you. So by using that, you should calculate delta Z naught. Okay. So next, for example, let us consider a reaction N2 plus 3H2 reversible with 2NH3. N2 plus 3H2 reversible with 2NH3. For this, delta Z naught R is equal to R stands for reaction is equal to, so 2 moles of that NH3 into Z of NH3, delta Z naught of NH3. So that means you should multiply with that number of moles also. Minus 1 mole of N2. Therefore, delta Z naught of N2 plus 3 moles of H2. 3 into delta Z naught of H2. So this is the case. This is the way to calculate delta Z naught of the reaction. That means you should multiply with those number of moles also. Those number of moles also. So it is the way to calculate delta Z naught. If you know delta Z naught, we have the formula in our thermodynamics. Delta Z naught, delta Z is equal to, see here. So already I told in your thermodynamics topic, that is, we have the formula delta Z is equal to delta Z naught plus RT ln Q. Delta Z is equal to delta Z naught plus RT ln Q. What is this Q, sir? Q is nothing but reaction quotient. Q is nothing but reaction quotient. So for a reversible reaction, so that is the reversible reaction. For that reaction quotient, already we discussed that. So if that reversible reaction is at equilibrium, if that reversible reaction is at equilibrium, Q is equal to Kn. Equilibrium constant. Automatically, delta Z is equal to 0 only. Delta Z is equal to 0. Therefore, apply those conditions here. So delta Z naught is equal to minus RT ln Kn. It is a very, very important formula, my dear boys. Delta Z naught is equal to minus RT ln K, or sometimes delta Z naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K ra. Here base E ra, here base 10, and that's enough. So these are the two important formula that gives the relation between delta Z naught, not delta Z. Once again I repeat, it is the relation between delta Z naught. So delta Z naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K to the base 10, and log K to the base 10. So now I am using this equation. So this equation I am rewriting. So that is, so from that, delta Z naught by RT minus is equal to ln K is equal to ln K. That implies K is equal to e power minus delta Z naught by RT. So K is equal to e power minus delta Z naught by RT. So minus. So therefore it is very, very important. So K is nothing but equilibrium constant. K is nothing but equilibrium constant. Okay. So see here. So this is I am taking. Therefore ln K is equal to minus delta Z naught by R into 1 by T. R into 1 by T. If you draw a graph between ln K on y-axis and 1 by T on x-axis, it is in the form of y is equal to mx form, and y is equal to mx form. So having slope negative, and the slope value is equal to delta Z naught by R. Delta Z naught by R. Okay. Next. All these are derivations. Please try to derive along with me. All these are derivations. That is, we have the formula delta Z naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log Kn. Also we know that delta Z naught is equal to delta H naught minus T delta S naught. It is the actual formula for delta Z naught. So this is also delta Z naught. LHS are equal, therefore RHS are automatically equal. LHS are equal, RHS are automatically equal. Therefore delta H naught minus T delta S naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. Log K. So that is why, see here, I am multiplying with the negative. That is a T delta S naught minus delta H naught is equal to 2.303 RT log K. Okay. So that implies log K is equal to T delta S naught minus delta H naught by 2.303 RT. 2.303 RT. So that implies log K is equal to, so delta S naught by 2.303 R, T and T gets cancelled, minus delta H naught by 2.303 R into 1 by T. Into 1 by T. So this is a very, very important relation, my dear boys. This is very, very important. So if you draw a graph, log K on y-axis, it is mx plus c form. Mx plus c. It is an equation not passing through the origin, but previously in case of delta T, passing through the origin. But it is not passing through the origin. So with the slope m is equal to this much. This is the slope value. So this is the intercept value. It is the, that should be positive intercept. So therefore, if you draw a graph, see here. So here log K versus 1 by t. In this case, slope is equal to, m is slope any, that is minus delta h naught by 2.303 r. Intercept is equal to, intercept is y-intercept. Y-intercept is equal to delta s naught by 2.303 r. Already at the time of thermodynamics, the same equation already I derived it. Once again I derived here. So slope is equal to this much. Okay. Now see here. If delta h naught is negative and delta s naught is positive. Delta s naught is positive. So it is negative, it is positive. It is negative means exothermic reaction. Negative means exothermic reaction. Yes, there is already told, but a little extension. So delta h naught negative. Negative means this value getting positive. Therefore, slope should be positive. So therefore, slope is equal to positive. That is positive delta h naught by 2.303 r. Positive delta h naught by 2.303 r. So it has intercept. Now the graph is like this. That is on y-axis log k, on x-axis 1 by t. So delta h is negative, delta s is positive. So positive slope, positive intercept. So therefore the graph is like this. Here slope is equal to positive because delta s not also positive. Slope is equal to positive. Sorry, it is delta h not positive, and totally this value is going to be positive, and intercept also positive. Intercept delta s naught. So it is for exothermic case. In case of exothermic reactions, so there delta s is positive. Therefore, that is the equation. That is the style of the graph. That is the style of the graph. Next, I am taking reverse case. I am taking reverse case. If delta H is positive, positive means endothermic case. If the reaction is endothermic and delta S is also positive, let us take delta S is also positive. This is positive, this is positive means the total overall negative. So therefore slope should be negative. So therefore the graph like this. The graph like this. So with negative slope ending. Slope negative, y-intercept. Y-intercept. It is log k versus 1 by t. So it is the second case. It is the first case. It is the first case. Okay. Next third case. Next third case. That is if delta S naught is negative. Delta S naught is negative and delta H naught less than 0. Negative means less than 0. Negative means less than 0. No problem. Less than 0. In this situation. So what is the style? So because it is less than 0 means negative. So this value going to positive. Therefore, slope is equal to positive. Next. Because it is less than 0, it is negative. Therefore, intercept is equal to negative. Negative intercept means x-intercepted. Therefore, the graph is like this. It is 1 by t. It is log k. K is equal to m constant. So it is like this. X-intercepted. X-intercept. So slope is equal to positive. Slope is equal to positive. So these are the different variety of graph sides. So most of the cases in advanced way. So these are very important. For advanced purpose, these are very important. These are very, very important. Okay. So now by using this equation, I am trying to calculate, so at different temperatures, how this K value is varied. At different temperatures, how this K value varied. So see here. So I'm explaining effect of temperature on equilibrium condition. Equilibrium constant. So we have the formula. Log K is equal to delta S naught by 2.303 R minus delta H naught by 2.303 R into 1 by T. This is the equation, boys. So how this equilibrium constant varies with temperature? What is the effect of temperature on this equilibrium constant? So temperature dependence of equilibrium constant. So consider delta S naught and delta H naught of a reaction are constant. At different temperatures. At different temperatures, so delta S naught and delta H naught are constants. Okay, next. I am taking at T1 temperature, K1 is the equilibrium constant. So log K1 is equal to delta S naught constant, boys. So 2.303 constant, R value constant minus delta H naught also constant. I am considering that 2.303 constant, R constant, but at a temperature of 1 by T1. So T1 temperature. Let it be 1. Next, log K2, that is the equilibrium constant at the second temperature, T2 temperature. Delta S naught by 2.303 R minus delta H naught by 2.303 R into 1 by T2, which is the second equation. So here, T2 greater than T1, my dear boys. Here T2 is the high temperature, T1 is the low temperature. Here T2 greater than T1. Therefore, I am calculating log K2 minus log K1. Log K2 minus log K1. That means this one minus this one. So that means this one minus this one means, so this one gets negative, this one gets negative, this one positive. So this one and this one are cancelled. Log K2 minus K1. So therefore, I am taking delta H naught by 2.303 as a constant into, so it is 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So log K2 by K1, it is log K2 minus log K1 means log K2 by K1 is equal to delta H naught by 2.303 R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. This is the very, very important relation. This gives the relation of K1 and K2 with respect to T1 and T2. Here delta H naught, it is the standard heat of the reaction. Delta H naught is constant. Delta H naught is constant, a particular reaction. So 2.303 constant. So R is also constant. So if it is taken as ln, so instead of log, I am taking ln. Ln means to the base era. Ln K2 by K1 is equal to, remove this 2.303. That is delta H naught by R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. Both are same. It is to the base E. It is to the base 10. So base E and base 10. These are the two important relations to calculate. So equilibrium constants at different temperatures. Equilibrium constants at different temperatures. So very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. Okay. So this equation is called as Van der Waals equation. Van der Waals equation. This is called as Van der Waals equation. That gives the dependence of equilibrium constant at different temperatures. At different temperatures. For the formation of ammonia, the equilibrium constant data at 673 Kelvin and 773 Kelvin respectively are 1.64 into 10 power minus 4 and 1.44 into 10 power minus 5. Full stop. Calculate the heat of reaction. Calculate the heat of reaction. Heat of reaction nothing but delta H, my dear boys. Heat of reaction is nothing but delta H. Before going to take that one, a small topic. See here, listen carefully. It is not based on this problem. It is something separate. See here. So I am taking exothermic reaction, sir. Exothermic reactions means delta H is a negative. Delta H negative means enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants is a negative. That means, so enthalpy of reactants greater than enthalpy of products. Enthalpy of reactants greater than enthalpy of products. So I am doing a graph, I am drawing a graph with respect to this one. So this is the potential energy of the reaction, nothing but enthalpy, generally considered. It is the reaction axis. That means from left to right, reaction going on. So product reactants converts into products in this direction. This is the reaction coordinate. Listen carefully. So we have started with reactants having something energy in it. This is enthalpy of reactants. So this is about the enthalpy of reactants. It is enthalpy of reactants. Enthalpy of reactants is greater than enthalpy of products. Now this is the enthalpy of products. So these are nothing but products, my dear boys. Here, enthalpy of reactants less than enthalpy of products. So that means these reactants converts into these products. So by absorbing something energy and converts into like this. Like this. It is a conversion. So reactants converts into products in this pathway. Okay. So now the difference between these two, enthalpy of products and enthalpy of reactants. So the difference of these two is nothing but delta H. The difference of these two values is equal to delta H value. So delta H means enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactant. It should be negative. It should be negative. Okay, these reactants converts into these products. So by crossing this energy barrier, that means reactants converts into products. So having certain minimum energy, then only products are formed. Already reactants have something energy, but not equal to required energy. So that is why reactants absorb some additional energy to convert these reactants into products to reach this energy barrier. To reach this energy barrier, these reactants require something energy. That energy is absorbed from surroundings or elsewhere. So therefore, this additional energy required to cross this energy barrier is called as activation energy of the reaction. activation energy which is indicated with E era. Activation energy of the reaction. So it is reactants to products, it is nothing but forward direction. So it is the activation energy of forward reaction. If products are converted into reactants, this is the activation energy for backward reaction. Activation energy for backward reaction. Now here delta H, this is delta H, my dear boys. This delta H is equal to activation energy of backward reaction minus activation energy of forward reaction. This delta H is equal to activation energy of backward reaction minus activation energy of forward reaction. Okay, so that should be negative. Is this negative? No. Positive. That is activation energy of forward reaction minus activation energy of backward reaction. It is the delta H value. Whenever delta H values are used, so that is replaced with this one. It is in case of exothermic reaction. Okay, so whenever delta H in your problems, so how much is the activation energy? Like this, some problems are there in it. So whenever delta H term is used, so activation energy of forward direction minus activation energy of backward reaction. So that is the energy required to convert reactants into products. Actually, this concept I will explain at the time of chemical kinetics. But in some problems, the activation energies are also utilized. That is once again, I'm trying to explain this concept here. So did you catch my point? So activation energies are nothing but, so there is the energy required to cross the energy barrier by the reactant. For the reactant. Okay, so it is very, very important. It is very, very important. Okay, so okay, now we are continue with that problem. For exothermic case, this is towards up, and I have explained that one also. See here. It is exothermic case. Now endothermic case. If this is like this, so it is the potential energy, it is the reaction axis, reaction coordinated. So this is the enthalpy of reactants energy. It is the enthalpy of products energy. Products value is more than that of reactants energy. This difference of these two values is equal to delta H. So that is enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. Higher value minus lower value. It is positive energy. So delta H is positive, is nothing much. It is endothermic. It is endothermic energy. Okay. So it is the activation energy of forward reaction, EAF. It is the activation energy of backward reaction, EABN. So delta H should be positive energy. So delta H is equal to activation energy of forward reaction minus activation energy of backward reaction. Delta H, there it is a positive value. Activation energy of forward reaction minus activation energy of backward reaction. It is for endothermic case. For endothermic reaction, this is the graph. So exothermic reaction, already I completed the concept. So these are the graphs. These are the that is activation energy concepts for heat of reactions. So therefore, so this is the difference. So heat of reaction is nothing but, so enthalpy of products minus enthalpy of reactants. So the difference of these two energies is nothing but, so delta H of the reaction. Delta H of the reaction. So it is entirely separate topic wise. So wherever and whenever it is required, please use it. See here. For the formation of ammonia, the equilibrium constant data at 693 Kelvin. At 693 Kelvin. That is, so it is lower temperature. So T1, it is higher temperature T2. Higher temperature T2. He wants to calculate heat of reaction. Delta H naught is equal to how much? So it is K1. It is K2. K1, K2 values are given to you. T1, T2 values are given to you. So he wants to find out heat of reaction. So in particular, so in joules, he want to calculate joules. So in joules, how much? Okay. So our formula is log K2 by K1 is equal to delta H by 2.303 R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. Okay. So apply the conditions. Apply the values. Log K2 K2 value is how much? So this much. 1.44 into 10 power minus 5 by log K1 1.64 into 10 power minus 4 10 power minus 4 is equal to delta H naught you want to calculate by 2.303 R value so he want to calculate in joules, therefore R value 8.314 any. So that is from your mind into 1 by T1. T1 is equal to how much? 673 minus 1 by T2 773 Kelvin. So all values are there. Find out the delta H value. Find out the delta H value. So it is the way to do problem. So the ratio values, these values we will give. So those values we will give so at the time of exam. So please use those values. So finally, I got the answer. Delta H naught is equal to minus 105.216 joules. That is equal to minus 105.21 kilojoules. 105.21. So it is calculation is little bit difficult. So try to solve yourself. Calculation is little bit difficult. Next one. The value of K for the reaction O3 gas plus OH gas reversible with hydrogen H gas plus 2O2 gas. Change from 0.096 at 298 Kelvin to 1.4 at 373 Kelvin. At 373 Kelvin. Above the temperature, will the reaction become? Will the reaction become thermodynamically spontaneous in the forward direction? Assuming that delta S naught and delta H naught values for the reaction does not change. with a change in temperature. So that is already we consider that one anyway. So given that delta S naught at 298 Kelvin is equal to 10.296 joule Kelvin inverse and joule Kelvin inverse. This is the question, boys. Okay. The value of K for different temperatures are given to you. Above what temperature? Above that temperature. Above what temperature? Above what temperature? That means you want to find out the temperature conditions then. Will the reaction become thermodynamically spontaneous? Thermodynamically spontaneous and above what temperature? See by boys. So thermodynamically spontaneous means delta Z should be negative and delta G naught should be negative. So spontaneous case. So delta G naught negative means, so let us say delta G naught is nothing but delta H naught minus T delta S naught should be negative and should be negative. That implies delta H naught, so that is less than 0. Negative means less than 0. So less than T delta S naught and therefore, so delta H naught by delta S naught less than T and less than T. So find out delta H naught and delta S naught. So it should be less than, below the temperature only the equation is spontaneous. Otherwise the equation is not spontaneous. So to calculate this temperature, you should find out first of all delta S naught and delta S naught. So delta H naught and delta S naught. Already delta S naught is given to you. First of all, calculate delta H naught by using this data. So use the delta H naught. By using this delta S naught, you calculate temperature T value. So that is why. So it is a way to do the problem. So see here. First of all, our target is to calculate calculation of delta H naught. Calculation of delta H naught. How to calculate the delta H naught? So our formula is log K2 by K1 is equal to delta H naught by 2.303 R into 1 by T1 minus 1 by T2. So this is 298 Kelvin lower temperature T1 373 higher temperature T2 ani. So it is K2 it is K1 ani. K1 K2 values, T1 T2 values are given to you. So it is in joules. Use R value in joules. Use R value in joules. So find out delta H naught. Find out delta H naught. So therefore our formula is log K2 by K1 1.4 by 0.096 is equal to delta H naught by 2.303 R value 8.314 into 1 by T1 1 by 298 by 1 by 373. So after calculation we will get the answer delta H naught is equal to what is that? That is its value is 33025 joules and 33025 joules. So this is the delta H naught value from this equation. Now temperature, and he want to find out temperature. Therefore temperature T is equal to delta H naught by delta S naught. So I am going to find out temperature. Delta H naught is this much. 33025 by delta S naught value, this much value in it. That is a 10.293. So finally we will get the answer 320.75 Kelvin in 320.75 Kelvin. So below the temperature the equation is spontaneous and otherwise the equation is not spontaneous. Below the temperature only. Below the temperature. So greater than, actually it is greater than our as per our norms. So greater than. So above the temperature is equilibrium is Spontaneous, otherwise it is not possible. Above that temperature is possible. Above that temperature is possible. Right? So this is the way to do this problem, and it is very, very, very important. It is very, very important. Okay. Next and last, based on this concept. See this? Which of the following graphs correctly represents for an exothermic, for an equilibrium reaction, whose Kp greater than 1. Whose Kp greater than 1. Those graphs are like this. So this is delta Z, boys, on this axis. So this is a pure reactant at this point. At this point, pure product. That means reactants converts into production. Okay, the graph seems like this, like this. One graph, another graph like this. Coordinate axes are same, so another graph like this, Next, another graph like this. Like this, same axis, coordinate axis. Another graph like this. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Which graph is correct? See boys. Kp greater than 1, nothing but positive value. Kp greater than 1. Our equation is delta Z naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. So because it is greater than 1, so the overall value delta Z naught is negative. So that means delta Z naught negative means, so whenever delta Z naught is negative, the equation is spontaneous. The equation is spontaneous. So spontaneous means, so during the chemical reaction, here G is high and G is low. So therefore delta Z is equal to low G minus high G value. Therefore that is the negative value. That means, so change in Gibbs energy should be decreased direction is the possibility. Change in Gibbs energy should be decreased. Direction is the possibility. So here reactants. So reactants, it is very near to the reactants. It is near to the production. It is exactly between them. Here change in Gibbs energy is not, and it is completely out of our answer. So among these three, only possible Gibbs energy is decreased. But so reactants, nearer to reactants, decreased value. That means the plus value increased. So therefore, our answer is like this. This one is the answer. How, sir? So in every reaction, Gibbs energy decreasing side is the final answer. That means here reactants are converted into products. So here only reactants converts into products. That means at very, very low condition, it is possible to convert it. So it is possible to convert any. So that is why it is the answer. The option 2 is correct. And option 2 is correct. Just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry, boys. Here, this G value there. So G value of reactants greater than that of G value of products. But here G value of products less than that of G value of reactants. So therefore, so it is G value of products. This is G value of reactants. Option is 1 and option 1. Yes, correct, my dear boys. Sorry for it is correct and option 1 and because the G value should be. So product G value is less than that of reactant G value any. So this is product G value, this is reactant G value. Therefore, it is correct. Yes, yes, Siddharth, you are correct. Sorry, this is correct. This is correct. It is very, very important. Okay. Okay, see boys. Last topic in there is chemical thermodynamics. Sorry, chemical equilibrium. Chemical equilibrium. Siddhartha, we will discuss. Please wait. That is simultaneous equilibrium. Simultaneous equilibrium. What is this simultaneous equilibrium? Simultaneous, that means here two or more equilibrium are existent. Two or more equilibrium are exist. So those are takes place in a closed, single closed vessel. So simultaneously takes place among them. So one of the products should be common. One of the products should be common. So one of the reactants or products should be common in those two equilibrium reactions. So then the type of reactions are called as simultaneous reactions. See here, simultaneous equilibrium. Let us take an example. A, which is the solid, my dear boys, is in equilibrium with B, which is a gas, plus C is also a gas. Okay. So in a reaction vessel, one reaction vessel. So this is the case. Next, in another reaction vessel, sorry, in the same reaction vessel, A, sorry, because it is B and E. So that B, which is the gas, is in reversible with C plus, which is the gas, plus En. Plus E. That means this B here involved in the reaction. This B once again gives Cn. Once again gives C. So these two equilibrium takes place in a single container, my dear boys. Both these are takes place in a single container. So here reactants and products are common in this case. So some of the reactants and products are common here. So this type of equilibrium are called as simultaneous equilibrium. Simultaneous equilibrium. Okay. Or one more example. There is a gas gives B plus Cn. B gas plus C gas. There is another chemical, not just like previous. There is a D gas which is in equilibrium with B plus E. This may also possible, which is gas. See, my dear boys, here B is there, here B is there. So both these are equilibrium. Both are takes place in a single container. At least one of the products or reactants is common. That type of equilibrium is called as simultaneous equilibrium. For example, I am considering this is A moles, A is taken. So from this X is decomposed. So this is X and this is X formed. If I am taking B moles of this, Y is decomposed. So here Y and Y are formed. Now in this equilibrium, what is the concentration of B? Here X, here y. Therefore, in this case, x plus y is the concentration of B. In this, here also x plus y is the concentration of B. That means, so the B concentration is considered from both the reactants end. It is the sum of both the reactants concentration. From this x, from this y. Therefore, total concentration of B is x plus y. Here is used, here also used. Okay, that means so concentrations are collectively considered. So if the common reactants or common products are there, so those common concentrations are used during the calculations of equilibrium constants. During the equilibrium constants. So based on this, there is a problem. So see here, time is getting over. See my dear boys. Two solid compounds A and C, both are solids and dissociates into gaseous products at constant temperature as A solids reversible with B gas, D gas, and C solid reversible with E gas, D gas. See boys, D and D are common, that is it is a simultaneous equilibrium concept. At this temperature and pressure, pressure over solid A is over solid A is 80 atmospheres, sorry, 40. Solid A is 40 atmospheres, and that over C is 80 atmospheres. The total pressure of the gases over the solid mixture is dash. Dash atmospheres. Dash atmospheres. See boys, there are two equilibrium. That is, I'm trying to explain the concept. A reversible, it is a solid any. B gas plus D gas. It is first equilibrium. Next, another equilibrium. C solid is an equilibrium with E gas plus D gas. So these are the two equilibrium. Okay. So let us consider I'm taking 1 mole of air because it is solid, no need of this one any. So initially 0, 0. So from this X is decomposed From this, x is decomposed. Therefore, it is x is formed. So it is 1 atmosphere pressure, that is 1. So x and x. Therefore, partial pressure of B is equal to x. Partial pressure of D is equal to x and okay. So about that, it is 40 atmospheres and therefore total pressure, partial pressure of B plus partial pressure of D is equal to 40 and so both these are x plus x is equal to 40, 2x is equal to 40, x is equal to 20 and x is equal to 20. Therefore, Kp for this reaction, let it be Kp1. Kp1 for this reaction is equal to x into x, 20 into 20, which is equal to 400 and 400. See here. So like this, it is solid, no need of consider. It is y and it is y. Okay. So just like previous case, that is partial pressure of E is equal to y, partial pressure of D is equal to y. So therefore, so total pressure that is y plus y is equal to 2y, which is given as the total pressure, which is 80 atmospheres. That implies y is equal to 40. Therefore, for this equilibrium, Kp2 is equal to partial pressure of this one and partial pressure of that one. That is 40 into 40 and 1600 and 1600. See boys, these two are parallelly taken, simultaneously taken. Therefore, concentration of D here is x, here is y. Therefore, total partial pressure of D is x plus y n. Therefore, so this 400 is equal to x into x plus y is equal to 400. X into x plus y is equal to 400. Because this x and this y is the total concentration, total partial pressure of Dn. Next here, so Kp1 now it is Kp2. Here it is y. Y into, so D value, this is y plus this is x. X plus y is equal to 1600. So this is Kp2 because both are takes place simultaneously. So Kp1, Kp2 okay. So now I am trying to calculate Kp1 by Kp2, which is equal to x by x plus y by y by x plus y is equal to 400 by 1600. It is 4 times any. So these two are cancelled. That implies x by y is equal to 1 by 4. X by y is equal to 1 by 4. X by y is equal to 1 by 4. It is very, very important. So, and also, x into x plus y, this one, this is considered. It is 1, it is 2 only. From 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, we will calculate. So what is that one? X into x plus y is equal to 400. X by y is equal to 1 by 4. Solve these two equations. We will get x and y values. So from that I got x value is equal to how much is the value? Root 80 which is equal to root 80 means 8.95. So that is x value. That is x value. Next, y value, x by y is equal to 1 by 4, x is that much. So finally we will get y value as y is equal to 35.8. 35.8. So therefore we got x and y values. Now he wants to calculate total pressure. Total pressure is equal to over. This one exists, this one exists, this one exists, this one exists. Therefore, P total is equal to, I am trying to here, P total is equal to partial pressure of B plus partial pressure of E plus this is x and that y. So partial pressure of B that is equal to partial pressure of B x, partial pressure of E y. So this is x plus y. That is also x plus y. That is x plus y. The partial pressure of D is x plus y. Therefore, which is equal to 2 into x plus y, which is equal to P total. P total. There are x values, there are y values. So therefore, P total is equal to, finally we get 89.5 by substituting those two values. By substituting those two values, finally P total is equal to 89.5 and 89.5. It is a way to do the problems, my dear boys.